Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Immigrant Success Story by Amir Ismail and Associates. This is your host, Amir Ismail. I'm a licensed citizenship and immigration practitioner based in Toronto. For the past 28 years, I have the honor of assisting clients in immigrating to Canada. But once they arrive in this country with expectations and passion, their journey to Canada starts transforming into a story that is worth sharing, a story that includes joy, difficulties, success, and experiences that define them and their destiny in Canada. Their experience in this great country can be extremely helpful in assisting new immigrants prepare for their own life in Canada, set the expectations, and take steps to decrease the risk of failure. Today, we have with us a very talented, qualified, and young professional. His name is Saud Sohail, and Mr. Sohail comes from Pakistan. He immigrated to Canada recently. He's a young chartered accountant from Pakistan, secured a Master's of Science in Accountancy and Finance with distinction from Birmingham City University, UK. He's also completing his CFA soon. He holds ACMA and CGMA designations. He's just 25 years of age, but has accomplished so much in terms of education and valuable work experience. He has lived and worked in 4 countries already, including the UK, the USA, the UAE, and now in Canada, where he works as an accountant in iDesign Solutions in Toronto. We will today ask him about his journey to Canada, what efforts he had to put into his job search, and how soon he landed in a job after arriving in Canada. I'm sure he will have very interesting facts, tips, and advice to share with our audience today. And that would be helpful to all those who are interested in migrating to Canada, especially those who are young, like Mr. Saud Sohail. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Saud Sohail. Hi, Saud. How are
Hello,
you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm just enjoying the snow in Toronto.
Uh, yeah, there was quite a lot of snow today.
Yes. So good luck to those who are driving in this weather, but it's always enjoyable seeing snow from your window at least.
Yeah, it is
So
enjoyable at first, but when sometimes it gets dirty
it's
and
good.
messy, so it is
Yeah,
not enjoyable at that time.
at that point in time. Yeah, I mean, you have lived in the U.S. as well. I think you must have experienced some snow there as well. If you
Uh,
were in that part of that country where you can enjoy snow.
I have worked in UK as well. I have seen
Oh yeah,
snow in most of the places,
most
but
places.
I have worked in US as an independent contractor from Pakistan. I was working for a US based company, but I was in Pakistan at that time.
Okay, wonderful. So let's start with. I try to give a general background about you, and if you want to add something to it, so that the audience would know you better, and then we'll build our questions about your journey to Canada, your experience here, so that people can benefit from your take.
So my journey started from the because I always wanted to be in finance, accounting and finance sector, and from O levels I started studying accounting. Well, I made my mind and I studied accounting, economics, and business in O levels and A levels, and then I applied for LUMS, but I got rejected from there. And then what happened is that when I got rejected, I went to NUS Business School. I did not like it. I came back to my hometown, and then um, all of a sudden started thinking about chartered accountancy. So then I got to know about SEMA, and I only spent like 2 years for SEMA. And after that, I got admission in Birmingham City University, UK, and I went for masters over there. So I was 21 when I graduated from Birmingham City University,
Right.
and I got a distinction from there. So, but uh, at that time, I went to well, like I came back to Pakistan, and I went to UAE
Mhm.
for job search for better job opportunities. But I did not like the work environment and culture in UAE, so
Mhm.
I left and I came back to Pakistan. But one of my cousins, he applied for Canadian immigration and he got into it. But I was not too sure if I will get a chance or not at that time. And because I only studied SEMA and then I got into masters. My masters was 1 year because it's in UK and I did not have a bachelor's degree. So these were the reasons I was not too sure if I'll get an ECA from Best or any other agency.
Right.
So, but I applied for it, and I luckily I got it equivalent to masters. Then I attempted IELTS, and after that um, applied for immigration, and I got it. I
Wonderful.
got the PR
Wonderful. Yeah.
because
So,
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
normally people normally people spend like 6 years after high school
Right.
to get a master's degree, but I spent like 3 years. So that's why I graduated when I was 21.
Yeah, this is so good because it gave you that leverage. You came to Canada, you already experienced, you already have the qualification, the designation, and you're still just 25, and you've already started your life here. So let me ask you, when you came here to Canada, in terms of the job search, let us know about your job search experience in Canada, and how did the degree from the UK assisted you in finding your first job here?
The degree in UK actually attracted a lot of attention from the employers,
Right.
and because I landed in Toronto on 24th of September,
Right.
and by the time by mid of October I already got 6 interviews, which is because I asked my colleagues and I asked my peers. They told me that they couldn't get that many interviews,
Wow.
so that's why this was 6 was a good number at that time. And I contacted all of the recruitment consultants, got interviews with them. One of the leading accounting firm, they interviewed me. So there were quite a lot of interviews going on, but this was the first actual job offer which I got. So after that I never tried to jump or switch because the thing is that already I'm quite young and I don't want my CV to show that I switch quite easily and I switch after a couple
Sure.
of months. Then I decided to stick around for a year or so, and then I would search for better opportunities. And another thing is, I was not aware of taxes over here. So this
Mhm.
company is operating in USA and Canada. So
Mhm.
that gives me an edge that I will be getting to know about taxes in Canada and US, payroll in Canada and US, and all that stuff, and legal things as well.
Right.
So that is one part of my story.
Mhm.
And another part is that when I started applying, I had a fancy CV, like a
Mhm.
lot of
Yeah.
colors and
Yeah. Tell us
images and
about that.
that kind of
The
stuff.
TV that you transformed that landed you a job so quickly soon after your arrival here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, because when I came, because I had UAE experience over there, they're not that concerned about technology and that these kind of things. Over here, they use software, and your CV must be ATS compliant. It should be quite simple.
Right.
Should be not more than 2 pages,
Mm.
and then it should have all of the keywords which employers search for. So if I'm an accountant, I go to the most common keywords for a generic CV, And then like apart from that, I kept a CV for specific roles as well. Like for some roles, uh, if I go to Indeed, I'll just start applying with my generic CV, because I can easily apply over there and I can keep on applying, and there are like hundreds of jobs posted every day. So I use generic CV, which has most of the common keywords. But if I go to, like, if I have to go to a specific website to apply, then I used to edit my CV, because it takes normally 20 to 25 minutes to apply for that application. So I just wanted to make sure that whenever employer sees that, he can find the relevant keywords which he's looking for.
Yeah, it's a very good advice. I had the chance of interviewing one of my clients whom we assisted a few years ago, and he is an HR manager here in Canada now. He was an HR in Pakistan too, and he gave me a similar sort of advice, being into HR, that there is a difference between a CV and a resume, and we talked about it. So it's a very, very good advice by you, that people, when they come here, they have to review and amend and change the format of their CV. So this is good. So let me ask you that you have lived and worked in the U.S., the U.K., and the UAE. All these three countries are good countries. They offer good compensation as well, comparable to Canada. In fact, there are no taxes. But you already told me that you didn't like the culture, so you left. But the other
Yeah.
two countries, the US and the UK, are of course Western countries. Good working environment and compensation. So I mean, they offer good opportunities to accountants. So why did you choose to come to Canada, or rather, why did you prefer Canada on these other countries?
Because I mean, Canada is like, people over here are quite welcoming, friendly, and it's the government. Because I'm an immigrant, and I don't even uh, sometimes I don't even think that I'm an immigrant. Like, I'm
Right.
just like a normal citizen. I don't need anything. I don't even need to carry my passport. I don't even need to carry my PR card. I don't even need to carry anything with me, and nobody asks me any questions. So that's the biggest benefit of moving to Canada. That And the work environment is as comparable to other countries. The work environment is really good. It's not just because I'm in Canada. I'm saying that I've been to three different countries. So the work environment is far better as compared to other countries.
Okay, so that is a very convincing response in favor of Canada, I would say. And anyone who's watching this, all our audience, young applicants, accountants, and otherwise, they can see that it is coming right from someone who has come to Canada, and he is vouching for the credibility Canada enjoys and in welcoming uh, newcomers. So my next question was actually related to this question that I just asked. I wanted to ask how, and it's a comparison question basically between these two countries that we are talking about, the UK and the US. So, what do you think from your point of view? How is Canada different culturally in terms of welcoming immigrants as compared to the other countries we just talked about?
It's because they are. I mean, they don't have the population. They are quite bigger as compared to these countries in terms of land, and so they need more people, and they need professionals over here. So if you are a master's degree holder or a bachelor's degree holder and you have a bit of experience, then there are opportunities for you, and people here are quite supportive. When I joined, I did, even though I'm an accountant and I have experience in different companies, but I did not knew about many things. So my colleagues, they supported me, and they even, it's not just the work routine or things related to work. They supported me for things other than work as well, like driving license, like other kind of stuff, finding rooms, and all kind of stuff.
Wonderful. Let me ask you a question that is related to the scope of accountants, because people who are watching, I'm sure many of them are accountants, and they want to know from their professional colleague, um, what is the scope of accountants in this country, and do they have to um, upgrade their qualifications or do some sort of certification in order to get hold of a good job in their field?
Yeah. So, like, for example, when I came over here, all the interviews I have had, so they asked me about Canadian experience because obviously, as an accountant, you need to know about Canadian taxes, you need to know about Canadian payroll, and you need to know about other Canadian like workers' compensation insurance and other kind of things. So over here, when I joined, they taught me these things, but not all of the employers, they don't do that. Because so for that, all of the people who are coming from other countries to Canada, they need to study these things a bit so that they get to know, and they need to learn accounting software, especially for medium or small size companies. It is for small size companies, it is QuickBooks most of the time. So that is the most common accounting software used over here. I
Right.
had experience of that, so that helped me in landing this job. But
Mhm.
other than that, I would recommend people to get Canadian CPA as well, because that raise your worth in the job market, and that's what I'll do because I'm a chartered management accountant from SEMA UK. So I'm eligible for a direct membership. I don't have to pass any exams for CPA Ontario, and I will do that because I'm living in Ontario, so I'll be doing CPA Ontario, and I'll be applying for the membership straight away.
Right.
And once I'll get the membership, then my worth in the job market will go up for sure.
For sure. Yeah, that could have been my next question, that securing professional accounting designations such as CGMA help in improving chances of being employed. And you just answered but I wanted to ask, is that a mandatory requirement to secure these designations? Because people who already have a chartered accountant designation from back home, for example, are they required to do something additional in terms of further courses before they could claim that status in Canada as well?
So most of the accounting bodies, they are affiliated with each other, and they have programs through which you can get a faster access to see. Like for example, if a CPA student, a CPA member who has that CPA status, who is a chartered accountant over here in Canada, wants to get the membership of any accountancy body in UK, so he'll have to pass probably one exam or two out of 14 instead of passing 14, and will have to just show his work experience, his or her work experience, and then they will be able to get the status, and that is vice versa. So anyone coming from Pakistan, like if he or she is a chartered accountant from ICAP, from UK ACC, because ACC is quite common in Pakistan and India and all over the world actually. So anybody who has who's ACCA member can also claim membership of CPA through their direct like fast track route.
Right. Okay, so we'll take a very short break, and when we come back, we're going to ask Saud about the life after immigrating to Canada. We would like to know, is it more busy as compared to his previous jobs in the US and UK and UAE? But right after this short break. All right, welcome back. We have with us Mr. Saud Suhail, a young accounting professional, and he is giving us valuable advice about job search, certification in Canada in the accounting field. And we would be asking him further questions so that we can benefit from his experience. So, let me ask you the question that I left before going to the break, that is about the life after immigrating. You came here, started living in Canada, you started experiencing Canadian way of life. What do you think is, has it become more busy for you as compared to your previous jobs in the US, UK, and UAE? What is the work culture like in Canada?
Uh, I would say that it is a bit more lenient as compared to other countries in terms of timings, because my employer doesn't ask me to stay for long, as because I'm working as an accountant and it is a 9 to 5 job. So I uh, like until and unless it is something critical, I don't stay after normal working hours, and I try to complete my work during that time. And for example, I was feeling that there is a need of another person, so I asked my employer and I told them that there is a backlog which is being created, and they already interviewed and hired another person to uh, assist me in that role.
Wow, wonderful. So the employers are accommodating here in this country, I believe.
Yeah.
They're flexible, and they do care about the employees. So speaking about employer being considerate and flexible, how did the people in general treat you when you uh, came here? Were they welcoming, accommodating, or did you feel any sort of resentment or perhaps discrimination at workplace or in general public? And compare it, please, with the other countries that you've been to, and what used to be the behavior of people over there toward someone who is a foreign national, for example.
Uh, the best thing about Canada is that there is no discrimination, and people they're from different backgrounds. I mean, I know people from China, people from Albania, Canadians, Italians, like they all work in my office, and they prefer to get to know each other and to get to know more about the culture of other countries. So that's the best thing about being in Canada, that you get to know about other cultures. You are not treated as an immigrant. You are an individual with self-respect and dignity.
Okay, that is wonderful. In my last several years in Canada, I have never myself experienced any sort of resentment or bad attitude toward immigrants. So it's a good country to be, and they basically own you, and you become part of the Canadian family. So yeah, so
Exactly.
my next question, I believe your response would be no, because I can see that you have a good experience of Canada. But I'm still asking you, do you regret your choice of migrating here? And if so, why? And if not, what do you like most about Canada?
Um, I that is obvious that I do not regret, uh, uh, and I love Canada. So I wouldn't go back for any other country. And what I love the most about Canada is I would say the sale on Black Friday, because I bought a lot of stuff and I spent a lot of
I
a lot
know
on I
you get
spent
carried
my
away,
entire
right?
savings on.
I know you're
Yeah,
guilty of getting carried away. I know. Everyone
that's
is.
something I regret.
Yeah, but you do get a good value out of it, you know. It's good that you had to wait and then
Yeah.
you get some good deals. So this is good. So in terms of settlement here and in terms of getting a job, I know that young people like you have the advantage of age and of course you are qualified as well, good education, good experience, but age does make a bit of difference in job market, if I'm not mistaken. Although there's no age discrimination in this country, but employer of course would prefer people who are younger, because they think that they are more energetic, more flexible, and they have more time in this country to serve, and of course pay taxes for longer, right?
Exactly, because I know that when my boss he interviewed me, what he asked me about was the first thing he asked me that are you going to commit for a longer period of time? Are you going to stay in the company for long? Because uh, it's my habit that whenever I go for an interview, I ask them that what do you rate how do you rate this interview out of 10? So this guy, he said that I would rate you 10 out of 10, but I'm not too sure that you would stay for a longer period of time in my company. So for younger uh, for younger people, they know that they are going to stay for long, and they have that kind of energy, and they can commit for a longer period of time. So that's why they prefer younger people. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, and it's a fair
And
analysis, I would say. So, you have set aside a lot of your time for our audience, and I am myself very thankful to you from the bottom of my heart. And it's Friday night, and it's weekend, and you're young, you want to go out, but you still are available for people to hear you and benefit from your experience and the advices and tips you've given, especially to the accounting professionals, are going to be very well received. If there is any advice or tip you would like to share with our audience, let us know.
it's a pleasure talking to you and addressing so many people and telling about my experiences, because I learned a lot of things over here, and those are actually quite valuable for me as well. And the mistakes I did, I would never repeat them again. So for general things, I would say that come to Canada with your like home country's license, because a license you'll have to wait here for 8 to 10 months if you don't have the license from your home countries. And it's hard to get a license here. I've been here for 2 months and I have failed one test already.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so it that's
You don't want to ask me how many times did I fail my driving test, because I feel so embarrassed. But yes, it is difficult, and driving is basically a privilege, right? It's not your right. So they want to make sure that you are a safe driver. Yeah, sometimes you have to, work really hard to convince the examiner that you are really a safe driver. But yeah, it's a very good advice. They need to come with a license, so that they can drive initially. But more so, I think something that you brought in with you, the positive attitude, the perseverance, and your determination that you're going to stick around. And you were very lucky that you were able to find a job very quickly. But I'm sure if you had not been able to do that, or find a job quickly, you would have still stuck around uh, to look for a good opportunity.
Yeah, but I would recommend that don't be depressed or something, because that moment when you're searching for a job is quite depressing. And for me, because I am I'm a master's qualified person, and I am a chartered management accountant. So I never wanted to go for odd jobs or do something which is, because people they do that for spending time, because they can't spend a whole of their day for searching for jobs. But
Right.
instead of doing that, I remain focused on job search, and I started some freelancing work related to my field, which also gave me an edge in the interview and enhanced my profile. So whenever I used to tell them that I'm using this software, and I'm working for Canadian clients, I'm maintaining their accounts, and I have this knowledge. So freelancing work, there are a lot of freelancing. Instead of doing those odd jobs, I would recommend all of the people moving here to Canada to remain in their field and do some freelancing work related to their field, just to manage their bills, so that they don't have to spend out from their pockets in the
Sure.
time they're unemployed, and they can spend their day. That's what I used to do, and that helped me a lot.
Wonderful.
Otherwise, job search is quite depressing.
Very relevant advice. And I thank you once again for being with us. And I appreciate your time. And I wish you all the best from all of us and you succeed more.
Thank you, and it was nice talking to you and addressing all these guys.
Perfect. Thank you and take care.
Thanks. Bye.
So this was Mr. Saud Suhail with us, a young professional accountant who came to Canada recently, and he was sharing with us his experience in this country, and we are very thankful for him to share with us his journey to Canada, his experience in Canada. And I'm very thankful to all of you as well who have been with us during this show. If you would be interested in getting in touch with our team, please feel free to get in touch with our Toronto office for any assistance in immigration matters. I leave you with our short video. And until the next show, I say goodbye to you.